game series has died at age 55. Zampella was killed in a single vehicle crash on the Los Angeles highway in California. The Ferrari he was in veered off the road, struck a concrete barrier, and caught fire. According to the California Patrol, 2 people were in the vehicle at the time. The cause of the crash remains under investigation. Well, that wraps it up for us on News Hour. But before we go, a quick look at the headlines. We told you that the Senate has approved a 43 trillion naira 2024-2025 budget repeal.
Also, reps approve extension of 2025 capital budget to March 2026.
INEC rejects Makinde-backed PDP and WC over pending court cases.
NSCDC deploys 55,000 personnel across Nigeria.
Nigerians decry high transport fares and insecurity.
Markets see increased activity ahead of festive season.
On the foreign scene, 5 dead as Mexican plane carrying 2-year-old burn victim crashes.
In business, Nigeria tops African crude exports to U.S. in 2025.
While in sports news, Nigeria beat Tanzania 2-1 in winning start.
And in the world of entertainment, Ashake mourns fan killed in Nairobi concert stampede. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV. And on other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. We witness news happening near you. We want to hear from you. Send your eyewitness reports, event coverage, request, photos, or videos directly via WhatsApp to 0814-606-4057. You can also reach our newsroom by email at news@vop.ng. I am Nnenna Ndomdioto.
And I am Vivian Oguche. Thank you so much for watching.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
This is African News on Voice of the People Television, where we don't just bring you the news, we bring you Africa's heartbeats, the policies that shapes our world, and the economy that determines our future. African News on Voice of the People Television. Stay with us.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more, tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
Hello there, my name is Damilola Ogunsi, also known as the Goldfish.
Hi, my name is Chiki Bright Emmanuel. I'm an actor and a filmmaker.
Hello, peeps. My name is Yomi E. Adejumo.
Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Utomi.
Hi, everyone. My name is Stacey Benjamin, and this is Voice of the People TV.
I need you to keep it locked to VOP TV. See, are you looking for good entertainment? You want to get good movies, good music, politics, talk shows, sports, and entertainment. You really want a channel that gives you everything you need without you having to run around. VOP is where you are. That's Voice of the People.
If you're not listening to this, you're not one of us, and you deserve to be killed. Scrap chat. Don't be killed, but watch it, or I'll find you, and I want you.
And you are locked on VOP TV. Don't go nowhere. This is where the juice is. This is where all you need for entertainment, politics, movies, and whatnot.
And keep watching VOP TV.
So keep it locked because I'm locked already, man, and it's money back guarantee. So you're gonna have a good time because I do.
And please keep watching VOP TV.
I won't want to actually, I beg you, subscribe, watch it. If not, whatever you see.
You better not touch that die, because VOP is the plot.
2564 is coming up on Barney 9, right?
The 2564 Atlantic Tower.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
It's a beautiful Wednesday morning here in Lagos, and we are here again today to serve you very interesting and interesting trending stories. We are about 16 hours away from Christmas, and from us here, it is Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining us on VOP this morning. Now, let's get into it. Director General of the National Counter-Terrorism Center reveals Nigeria is working with Facebook, TikTok, X, others to delete terrorist accounts, curb propaganda. INEC rejects Turaki-led National Working Committee, cites court judgments as Sheyi Makinde reveals Wike offered to hold PDP down for Tinubu till 2027. And 5 years after NSAS, Lai Mohammed vehemently insists nobody was killed at Lekki Tollgate. Now, these are the major topics of discussion this morning. We also have other interesting trending stories which we are going to weigh in the course of the show. Join us as we take you around Nigeria for these interesting stories. I am Chukuma Okoro, by the way.
And I am Moses Humphrey. Welcome to the program.
I'm Fina Okechiko, glad to have you on board. And talking about other trending stories, the United States government has announced a Christmas incentive program offering illegal immigrants up to $3,000 to voluntarily leave the country. They went further to warn that those who fail to take advantage of the offer risk arrest and permanent deportation. In a statement released on Monday by the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, the U.S. said illegal immigrants who enroll in the program before the end of the year would receive a cash stipend alongside free flight tickets to their home countries. The statement added that participants would also enjoy additional benefits, including the forgiveness of civil fines or penalties for overstaying or failing to leave the country earlier. The Homeland Security Secretary, Christine Noem, described the initiative as a seasonal goodwill gesture, noting that the incentive had been tripled due to the Christmas period. She, however, issued a stern warning to those considering staying back. In her words, illegal aliens, that's what she called people who are, illegal immigrants into U.S., illegal aliens should take advantage of this gift and self-deport, because if they don't, we will find them, we will arrest them, and they will never return. And that ends her quote. The DHS assured interested immigrants that the process will be seamless, urging them to download the app and submit their details. Interesting. I was hoping to see the aliens, but it speaks further to what is playing out in the US, where we learned that the Trump administration is so hell-bent on making sure that illegal immigrants, according to him, in US, they all go back to their home country. And with this incentive that we're seeing now, are we going to see people jumping and taking $3,000 and a free flight ticket back to their home country? Are we going to see people that will still take the money and stay back? What is really going to play out there? I think it was in Eswatini that we learned that a certain amount of money was given to the government of Eswatini, which the legal practitioners and other CSOs in the country are already taking a decisive action against the government for accepting such money from the Trump administration for people whom they tag illegal migrants to be sent to their home country. We learned that some of those people were Jamaicans. They've been able to send I think 2 of them back to Jamaica, and some are still with them in Eswatini. What is really playing out? Why is it that, we're seeing such measures just because some persons believe that this place shouldn't be there or something? I don't know what to say, but believe me, using a certain word to, address human beings, it's a bit dehumanizing if you ask me, because these people we're talking about are humans. And how did they manage to get themselves into US in the first place? They were there because some policies allowed them to be there. But if you check out what is playing out, it's more like, if you actually say this is more like a targeted attempt to make sure that some persons, will no longer have a say, especially when US is involved. When the people there are saying they want to make US to go back to US, I keep on asking, what happened to the original inhabitant of US, the Red Indies? Where are they? How many of them do we have in government? How many of them do we have there? Because every other person there, if you check your origin in one way or another, you find out that you also, he migrated. Your grandfather or great-grandfather migrated from one place to another to be there. Some were product of slavery and all that. So we're not talking about making sure we return US to what it is supposed to be. It raised so many questions, but let's see how this actually plays out. This incentive, and let's see if the people are going to grab it and move.
But the ones you're talking about are now legal
Okay.
aliens.
Okay, legal aliens.
That's what they are. They are
Okay,
legal
okay.
aliens. You know, because they migrated, they nationalized or naturalized in those areas. So they are legal aliens. Reminds me of the song Sting.
I'm a bender man. Okay, okay.
No, Sting. No,
Sting
the original.
himself.
The original.
Yes.
Yeah. He was that I'm an alien. I'm an Englishman in New York.
In New York.
Interested.
Yeah. But we had our own version.
Our own version.
I'm a bender man in Lagos.
Yeah. Oh well. It's as it's been put, it's a Christmas bonus for illegal aliens to vacate the US. And this is reporting yourself before you are hunted. That's basically what this is. Report yourself before you're hunted. But the truth is, those that are there illegally, what good really does it do you if you have to run and hide just because, you want to make a living in somebody else's country? I mean, who did you leave your country for? For those that are Nigerians, you're like, who did you leave Nigeria for? Come back, let's fix Nigeria together. No, you can't leave us and run away. Come back.
Very brutal.
Let's fix Nigeria together. Go back to your countries. Okay, that's just being that's on a lighter note. But I think it's the onus really is on countries, especially developing countries, or developing countries, to fix their countries so their people will stop running away. There was a lady who went live some time back. She was just talking about her experience. A very pretty lady talking about her experience. Before she got to where she is. I think she's in the UK now, or the US. And then she talked about the days she spent in the desert. People dying, that a lot of them that crossed from one part to another, a lot of them died. How they didn't have their bath for like 2 weeks. These are things that people go through just to escape hardship in countries that they come from. I mean, my focus here is Nigeria, because we have a lot of Nigerians in places like the US, in places like the UK, because they're looking for greener pastures, better living conditions. But if we make the system here work, people will not go. People will stay in Nigeria and end their living here. I mean, for now, it's still, you can still knock on your neighbor's door and get a little something back here in Nigeria. You can't do that outside.
Corporate begging.
No. But you can have a distress call and your neighbor will readily come to your aid. But you can't. I mean, over there, your neighbor will see you and then call the police or call emergency for you, rather than come help you out, provide that to me. So my point is, especially Africa, and most especially Nigeria, we should fix our country. If we fix we should start from somewhere, fix our country, and then our people will stop running away, looking for how to feed and how to provide for their families, and then we'll stop being embarrassed by countries like the US placing visa ban and visa restriction and telling illegal aliens to vacate their countries. They have a right to do so. And who would blame them? Fix your country. Let's fix ours.
Okay, let's fix Nigeria. Moses, you have answered. I wanted to do a simulation and ask you a question. You have already answered me. So if you were in that position, you take the $3,000 and jump home.
$2,000 and come home.
And that's about 4.5 million naira.
If I were there, if I were in that position, I don't think I would.
Okay, you don't think? Okay, so
it depends on what I'm making over there.
How about you?
And how are you sure they will even give you?
No, they will give you. They will. One thing about them is that they try to keep to their words of will. If what happen, if I'm being addressed as an alien,
yes.
Okay, if I would
and
take
you have this opportunity, flight ticket paid for you, $3,000, go back.
Do you know there are people who were? So is how much again?
$3,000.
No.
4.5 million.
4.5 million.
Yeah, if I to check it by 1,000.
The people who earn that if you put cumulatively in three or 4 months, they earn that. They've left their jobs here
in Nigeria, where they end up that much.
That much, yes.
To go abroad.
Now there are illegal immigrants there.
Some of them
and they keep running. No, the classification is for illegal immigrants.
I understand. Yes.
You understand? So, Fifi, will you?
Funny enough, I just don't know. But I think I would take the money if I'm being addressed as an alien. I'll take the money and go home.
No, it's not about being alien. It's about being an illegal immigrant.
But why should I
don't
be
have
an
the right
illegal
to stay
immigrant?
there?
And I'll go home.
I will go home. Okay, for me, I'll not wait the next minute. I'll jump
I'll go
and
home.
come back.
Yeah.
You know why I say this? I see a lot of people, in Europe that are not doing practically anything there. And they are running from one pillar to another, hiding, especially in countries where immigration laws are very, very strict and stringent. And that is what Donald Trump wants to do. With 4.5 million naira, you can set up a small business.
And you think do you know the amounts they spent going there in the first place?
So which one is better? Which one is better?
To the fact of what you said. Yeah. Come back. Let us make here a good place for all of us to stay.
Rather than running around and sleeping already.
And I like what a Christian Neum said. It said, if we take you out, you will never come back. Yeah. That speaks to border security. You understand? That's the strength of America. The promise they give their people that we are going to secure you. We have here 1,978 unmanned borders. So anybody filters sometimes into Nigeria, comes here, collects firewood, and goes back, to go and cook his soup. When he finishes, he comes and shares with his kinsmen here. And we have all sorts of problems. But we have a country that says, the moment we take you out here, you will never come back. That's some kind of assurance, for protection for the citizens. Like I said, you need to come back here. I know a guy that had a problem, in Asia. He was shipped back to Nigeria. He rallied money from family and set up a small business where he started selling just pure water in bags. From there, he graduated to potable, what do they call it? This table water and all of that. The guy is made now. When they say that someone is made, the guy is made, doing very well in his business. And like I said, I once went to Europe and I saw people, some of them can't even come back because they don't even have the face to come back. Because they don't have papers. So I'll encourage people, man, if you are in this position and you have this chance, just take it and come back. Because like Christy Noem said, if we take you out, you will never smell America again. Come back here, according to Moses, and I align my thoughts with him. Come back here, let's build Nigeria. How many Americans do you see here? Hiding from one corner to the other. How many South Africans?
How many Africans? I was going to say that. How many
Ghanaians do you even see here?
How many right now?
Right now. So the onus lies on us to make this country a living place for all of us. We have everything. Finance says Nigeria is a great country. I don't agree with her. I believe that Nigeria can be great again, but we are a blessed country. So let's make Nigeria great again. Oh, well, let's move away from that. In a recent development, 2 suspected fighters of the Islamic State West Africa province, ISWAP, have been arrested in Lagos State. The suspects, identified as Modu Ghana and Ibrahim Doge, were apprehended on Sunday, December 21, by operators of the Department of State Services, DSS. A security source with direct knowledge of the operation told Media House that the suspects were arrested in Apapa, Lagos. The source also said they were arrested around 8:45 a.m. on Sunday, adding that both men are currently in detention for interrogation. Well, according to findings, the arrest followed intelligence reports that the suspects had fled the insurgency hit northeast and relocated to Lagos, probably where they think that there will be a hiding place for them. The specific mission of the suspects in the state was not immediately clear. When contacted, an official of the DSS media unit says the arrest had not been brought to the agency's attention. Well, since the deployment of its former spokesperson, Peter Afunaya, the DSS has adopted a covert media policy explaining that it is necessary to enable the agency to effectively carry out its intelligence duties. There were no indications as of press time that the suspects were planning to attack, planning an attack in Lagos, Nigeria's commercial center. This is good. That is how they filter in, one after the other. Well, there could also be surveillance. They could be doing some kind of reconnaissance operations, for themselves. They will tell you that, look, they just came here, they fled the northeast, and they are here to see how they have repented and all of that. And before you know it, they start building cells around the city centers. One bad thing about the way we have tried to manage insecurity in Nigeria is the fact that we let it fester, and by the time we understand what is going on, cells have been built around certain areas. It becomes very dangerous if it creeps into city centers. As a matter of fact, a lot of people, in the city centers, I believe they are detracted, far removed, from the dangers people in the hinterland face when it comes to insecurity and all of that. And if we start seeing cows, unmanned, saunter into Nigeria's gateway, talking about the international airport road, it is becoming more frequent now. And along the Lagos-Apapa Expressway, it is also becoming more frequent. You see cows disrupt traffic and they are not even manned. Nobody is heading them and all of that. This is how they start building cells without you knowing it. So I'm happy that the DSS has come out to say, look, we caught 2 people, they are undergoing interrogation. Please don't sweep it under the rug, because these people, they are very, very dangerous, I tell you. And I like the fact that DSS has also become very, very careful, in how they give out information. Before, they will just come and tell you, oh, we have bossed this thing and all of that. Like what the Nigerian military does, we have acquired drones, to tackle insecurity. Before you know it, the insurgents, the terrorists use drones against you. Oh, we have bought Tucano jets and they fly in their own from wherever they have them and all of that. It's important. I think it's instructive, and I like the fact that DSS is becoming more measured, more circumspect, in the type of information they put out, because you might not know, you might just be giving these people the information that they will use to attack us. Quite unfortunate.
When you say that before you know they'll start building cells, if you ask me, I would think that they must have already infiltrated into our city centers, because if you check out what is playing out, like some people will tell you that where are you coming from? Is against the true federalism that we preach. If you check some places, make mention of something that played out some time ago within the Festac Go axis or thereabout, where you're talking about how some people have decided to, more like become a bit higher than the people living around there, carrying out the operations and whatever thing they want to do, running their bikes, and you don't stop them. And if you stop them, all of them will come out more like to attack you, to ask you questions. And it speaks volume to how we have neglected the issue of insecurity to the point that people, I was hoping that they would tell us if these men were Nigerians, because I had that conversation with someone yesterday, and the person was like, most of the people who are cursing candidates in Nigeria are Nigerians, against what we learned from the NSA and all the persons that have told us they're not Nigerians because they don't speak any of our languages. But all the same, since they didn't tell us that, I think it's called for more measures now. Yes, more measures now from all the security operators in Nigeria to make sure that, if possible, we should start profiling individuals. Yes, including me. If you're to see me moving around the way I'm not supposed to, please call me up and ask questions. Where are you going to? Who are you? Where's your ID card? And all that in a sane way, so that it will not turn out to be more like some people are being attacked and all that. But if you ask if they have been within our city centers, believe me when I say yes, they are there, Chukuma. The only thing we're waiting for is for the small, or will I say the explosion to begin, the attacks to begin. If they are here, they are already. They are already.
Well, I actually align my thoughts with you, because I think this is coming a little too late. I think we've neglected our security to the point where we have been infiltrated. And I'm talking about, by we, I mean more urban areas like Lagos, for example. And the center of Lagos, we see some of these funny-looking people moving around. I don't want to profile anybody, but there was a time, Lagos State government, I think it was the Sanwo-Olu administration, yeah? Was it Sanwo-Olu's administration or Wambode's administration, where they impounded a trailer load of motorcycle and people being brought to Lagos, and they had to send them back to their different states, and impounded the motorcycles and send the people back to their different states. I mean, we see these people, the way they move around is amazing. They have a network. Those I have around me. Today they wake up, they tell you, oh, I'm traveling. And then you're thinking, okay, you must have a lot of money to travel. I mean, because you know that traveling right now is, you're going to spend about 45,000 naira on the road. I say, don't worry, I go reach. Before you know, also he calls you that, okay, he's home. He's somewhere
in Borno already. And you're like, how much you take go? You know, I just joined one trailer. I pay 2,000. I pay 5,000. And that's it. You know, that tells you how they have that sort of network.
They have that network. And you know one good thing about that network? The moment he leaves, another person comes to replace him. So it is not as if he has left completely. Probably
they don't leave a vacuum.
They don't leave a vacuum. Probably he has gone to farm or to impregnate his wife and to marry a new wife and all of that. That's their style. They go and come back. So when you think that, oh, this menace, you know, it's good riddance to bad rubbish. No, there's an immediate replacement. In fact, they cross themselves along the road. It's a very...
So I'm going, all right, I'll take over your shop.
Yes. It's a very, very coordinated network.
It is. Intentionally or unintentionally?
Intentionally, I must admit.
You think
I must
it's
say,
intentional?
yes, it's quite
intentional. It's intentional.
Not all of them mean harm.
No, they might not mean harm.
Yeah.
But one good thing about them is that they are very, very protective of themselves.
And we allow
Very,
it.
very protective of themselves.
We sometimes will encourage them to do that too, most times.
To be protective of themselves?
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
Also.
Now, when you say they are more protective of themselves, when you see one person, for example, you employ one man and he's there, the next other time his brother is there, next other one, the brother. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. When you allow such to
that's
happen,
not being protective.
they will keep on doing what? No, they will. They'll keep on accumulating. And all
This
of them
is
will
what I
gather
mean.
and
This is what I
start.
mean. If I have a problem now, you know, and I have a problem with a stranger, and I start speaking my native language, where I come from, chances are that like, if 10,
I understand.
you
already.
understand.
I understand you already.
Exactly. So, but they don't ignore.
Yes.
Chances are that my people, if they
walk,
are 10,
walk on by.
about 9 will walk by, only one person, but they never do.
Yes.
They were meant to bring
the brotherhood.
down one
The brotherhood is
there.
quite strong.
Quite very
yes.
strong.
Yes, I absolutely agree. And it's also evident when there's a clash between an Okada rider and a vehicle. You just see how a lot of them they just stop. Like they say they speak something, and then everybody just gathers. And God have mercy
on you,
on that car driver, if he's at fault. God have mercy on him. And I don't know. I told you something. Was it you? I think it was here. A friend of mine who is an Uber driver.
Had to take the victim to an uncompleted
building.
And
You remember.
Doctor
You remember. Now, for the benefit of those just listening. Now, this happened some years back. I think about 3 or 4 years ago. This young man, who's an Uber driver, ran into an Okada rider. You know, injured him, but decided to treat him. So he was like, "Let's take him to the hospital." The rest said, "No. We don't take our people to hospitals." And they took him, and he had to follow because he wanted to pay for the treatment. He followed them. They took the guy to a building on the island, Victoria Island. Went into the house, an abandoned house, of course. You know, and then the garage, they got in there. There was a carton laid on the floor. You will see stains, dried blood stains on it. And they called somebody who was some sort of doctor and came and fixed the bone and applied treatment and everything. And he was like, "Is this all the treatment he will get?" They said, he'll be fine. Just pay. So he paid. Small amount of money. And that was it. And he came back and he was troubled. Like, how many of them may have gunshot injuries and the likes, and the hospitals would never have a record of it. The police would not have a record of it because they were treated somewhere. And we're talking Victoria Island in Lagos. In Lagos. Well, this is not profiling anybody because we haven't mentioned any ethnic group here. But I think we should be more wary of such infiltrations. Anyway, time may not allow us to touch on another conversation, but the news is, and I think it's a good news, that the National Identification Number issued by the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, has now automatically become your tax ID for Nigerians. And this is according to the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS. Now, this declaration comes amidst concerns over a provision of the tax laws mandating a tax ID for bank account ownership. So once you have your NIN, it automatically works as your tax ID. All right. So that's good news for Nigerians struggling to get their tax ID. Oh, well, let's move away from that. Let's run into the papers now. Let's look at stories from the dailies, newspaper headlines.
Okay, let's start with this day newspaper. With the big story on this day is Makinde, Wike promising to hold down PDP for Tinubu's pact hour agreement. With the rider says he regrets supporting president in 2023, but will not be supporting him for 2027. That is coming from Seyi Makinde, the governor of Oyo State. Senate held Tinubu's 58.73, I beg your pardon. Senate held Tinubu's 58.47 trillion naira 2026 appropriation bill, backs infrastructure, security push, passes 43.5 trillion naira 2024-2025 reworked budgets, extends 2025 appropriation to March 2026. So we have like 3 budgets running in one cycle. Article, NBA raised concern over alleged alteration of tax laws, demand suspension. Ekiti takes the lead, domesticates Nigeria's Tax Administration Act. That story is on page 6. And there's a pictorial there, annual distribution of food items to Christian North for Christmas and New Year celebrations. And that's it from the This Day newspaper.
And up next is the Nigerian Tribune with the window headlines. INEC rejects Turaki's factions request for recognition. Right after that story, cites pending lawsuits. Tax Reform Act, NBA calls for suspension probe. 2 reverse PDP senators, 6 reps defects to APC. The banner headline, destruction of PDP dangerous for Nigeria's democracy. That's coming from Makinde. Says Wike at a meeting promised Tinubu he would hold PDP for him. I regret backing him in 2023. Adelabu doesn't have capacity to organize Oyo APC for president. Nigeria falls short of all revenue target in H1 2025 Budget Office report. Awujale stole. Kwam 1 withdraws seat to stop process. 2026 budget, senators insist on implementation as 58.47 trillion naira appropriation bill scales second reading. Ekiti takes the lead, domesticates Nigeria Tax Administration Act. Oyebanji signs Ekiti State Revenue Administration Law, 415.57 trillion naira 2026 budget. NIN becomes automatic tax ID for Nigerians as CAC number emerges official identifier for businesses. Those are the stories on the cover page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper today.
Well, that's pretty much how far we can go with newspaper headlines. At 10 o'clock, right after VOP This Morning show, we'll come back with more insight into the headlines. That's on newspaper review. But in the meantime, let's get into this conversation. Director General of the National Counterterrorism Center reveals Nigeria is working with some social media entities, Meta, owners of Facebook, and then TikTok as well, X.com, and others to delete terrorist accounts and curb propaganda. All right, so let's look at this when we come back. Join us after this.
This is African News on Voice of the People Television, where we don't just bring you the news, we bring you Africa's heartbeats, the policies that shapes our world, and the economy that determines our future. African News on Voice of the People Television. Stay with us.
Uyi Osarite is my name. I am a friend of the microphone. I talk and get paid, and I look forward to being in your studios. Voice of the People TV. That name is unique, and the brand is very sweet. I like the packaging, picture qualities, camera qualities, and then of course, the quality of human beings that I see sometimes on your channel. I'll be like, well, this TV station will go places. Voice of the People TV.
Oh yes, You are on to Voice of the People TV, live here in Benin City, the cradle of black civilization. What are you waiting for? Tune in, bro.
Hey guys, what's up? How you all doing? They call me Ovisha Nelson One, your #1 celebrity host, and you are watching Voice of the People Television, VOP. Stay tuned.
On Edu Dialogue, we bring you fresh ideas and conversations, shaping the future of learning in Nigeria and beyond.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People Television, where your health has a voice.
Mr. Ofamiloni, and here's to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
My name is Made Kuti, and you're watching VOP TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Arpeon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People Television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes off, with the sport.
And it's Hakim Ziyech.
Glad to have you join us again. Now, let's get into it. The federal government has disclosed that Nigerian security agencies are collaborating with major social media companies to identify and shut down accounts used by terrorists. Used by terrorists and criminal gangs to publicize attacks, flaunt stolen items, and raise funds. The Director General of the National Counter-Terrorism Center, NCTC, Major General Adamulaka, made this known on Tuesday during an end-of-year briefing in Abuja, revealing that platforms such as TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and X have increasingly been exploited by terrorist groups operating across the country. Well, according to Laka, security agencies have held several engagements with the social media companies to ensure that content and accounts posing threats to national security are promptly removed. Like I said, the use of social media platforms by terrorist groups had led to the takedown of numerous accounts. He also explained that while the platforms are businesses seeking to grow their user base, government agencies consistently engage them on the dangers certain posts pose to national security. He recalled how bandits previously used TikTok to openly display looted items and even live stream their activities, a practice he said has now been largely curtailed. Well, let's bring in our guest. We've been joined in the studio here by Mr. Somi Oranta. Mr. Oranta is a philosopher and a business entrepreneur and author and public affairs analyst. Good morning, Mr. Oranta, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning to you.
Good to have you on VOP this morning. And beside him, we have Barrister Darlington Agommo. Barrister Agommo is a lawyer and political affairs analyst. Good morning, Barrister Darlington Agommo.
Good morning, Mr. Koro and Moses. How are we today?
Good morning to you.
Very well.
Good. And we'll be joined in the course of the program by virtual guests from our outstations. Okay, we already have Honorable Ejiofor Egwato, who is a former member of Anambra Citizens Assembly, politician and public affairs analyst. Good morning to you, Honorable Egwato, and thanks for being part of the show.
Good morning to everybody. Thank you for having me here.
Okay, beautiful. Now, let's start with you, Barrister, in the studio here. Barrister, what's your reaction to this The news by the security agencies that, look, they are about to start taking down social media handles of terrorists, bandits, and kidnappers. Let's have your broad reaction.
Look, my reaction is that these people are not serious. Whenever they don't want to do anything, that's the route they always go through. Please, Mr. Okoro, you remember when NSAS happened here? Within 24 hours, the federal government and their agencies, they discovered the account of all these guys who were promoting that NSAS. Is that not true? Including our girl who ran to Canada. Did they contract anybody? Mr. Okoro, the terrorists that they gave them their list from Dubai up to today, have we seen their name? This point that collect a ransom and the federal government will be liaising with them, please, which route did that ransom pass through? This is a question they need to answer me before they start talking of social. What are you talking about? When they don't want to do anything, this is the route they will go. Tomorrow night, they will say the social media people are not helping them. They are the problem. You can imagine these people.
But when you say when they don't want to do anything, they're already telling us that they want to start doing something.
They are
not impressed with this.
Are you impressed?
No, I'm just asking.
The examples I gave you now, does it really mean that people want to do something? Mr. Okoro, if they want to take down the terrorists, Mr. Okoro, it doesn't take any rocket science. They know them. Bayonologa told you that they communicate with them, they talk with them. So, which SIM card was Bayonologa using to communicate with them when he told us that story? Please tell me. Which SIM card were they using? Told you, Bello, that Gumi have told us severally how he goes there to communicate with them and dine with them and all that. When they were doing all these things, are they not supposed to get their whatever? These people, they just want to do it. They are looking for every little opportunity to cover the terrorists, to cover these bandits. Instead of doing the needful.
Opportunity, Barrister, we just learned from the National Assembly that kidnapping now and even banditry are now terrorists. They've already designated to be terrorism. And according to them, that there is no option of fine, life imprisonment.
It's their lie. They said it verbally. It has not been criminalized. It has not been gazetted. It has not gone through the court. It has not gone through the National Assembly. Someone cannot just come out and make noise. When they criminalized IPOB, did you see the route it went through?
But Barrister Darlington, that Ebola once told us that, look, why they are unable to track these terrorists is because that they are using Starlink and that the Nigerian intelligence community they don't have access to. Starlink, that is a Chinese company.
Please, is that not charges enough, Mr. Okoro? Is that not charges enough? Tell me. Oh, when they want to pay them the ransom they are collecting, they pay with their pounds and dollars, Abi? Or you answer me. When they demand for this ransom that they display on TikTok and everywhere, the money they collected from the federal government.
We are trying to interrogate the sincerity of the government. Ebola tells us something. Now, we have the NCTC tell us a different thing also. So who should we believe in?
Well, there is nothing to believe. They are lying. Mr. Okoro, help me tell them that they are lying to me. If they are not lying to Nigeria, they are lying to me. They are lying. They are not sincere. They are lying.
So, okay, Mr. Ranta, let's have your reaction to this development. What do you think?
What do I think about
the comment by General Laka that, look, they are trying to, they will soon start taking down social media accounts of terrorists and bandits?
Look, I can't help but align with Barrister Darlington. There is no sincerity of purpose. Look, post one thing that is against the government. Just post it.
Oh.
Before, in less than 24 hours, they will trace you.
I wonder.
So do you think this is not directly against terrorists, but to curb what they call propaganda?
It's just propaganda.
Are they hiding under other things? Hiding under this?
The relationship
to curb dissenting voices.
The relationship between the terrorists and the government is a very hot romantic relationship between them. Because we are here, we are told that the NSA, which he agreed, equipped armed military Allah people to defend Nigerians in Kwara State.
Defend.
I just saw a video over the weekend where a local government chairman from one local government in Katsina, they had a meeting with terrorists, and he was addressing the terrorist leader as the commander of peace. Okay, let the government tell us. Who ordered, why is it difficult for them to tell us who ordered the soldiers, the security men who were in that KB school to leave 30 minutes after which the school was invaded and kidnap actions took place? What happened? Why is it difficult for them to tell us? How did they rescue these girls, Niger girls or Niger students? How? So you see, you cannot be speaking from the both sides of your mouth and you think you're talking to fools. Nigerians are not fools. If you are ready for action, we will know. And the international community knows. You see, my fear is that we are getting to a point where Nigeria might be designated as a terrorist sponsoring nation. It's itching closely because they have seen all the shenanigans, all the subterfuge. They have seen the manipulation, the propaganda. They are doing it and getting away with Nigerians. But all our actions are open to the international community. And if we don't take care, if we're not careful, it's itching closely.
If eventually that is done, will it be any different from what the United States has done by redesignating Nigeria as a country of particular concern? What would be the difference?
You see, we've not started seeing the full impact of that redesignation as a country of particular concern. Look, before now, remember, courts in Canada had ruled that APC and PDP, two major parties in Nigeria, one comatose, one very active now, that they are terrorist organizations. It's moving closely. And the only anger I have is that these guys in the international community, they will not focus their anger on the real people. They'll be treating, punishing the citizens who are already, downtrodden, who have been, bespattered, who has been going through so many things, impoverished by the ruling class. They should focus their anger. So I also feel there's a sense of double standard amongst them.
Okay.
That's my
concern. Please, to help you there, the difference between CPC
terrorist country
is because American president have been given the privilege to declare any country a country of particular concern. Okay. That's the power given to American presidents. As far back in 1970 something. Are you aware now? Okay. So they have that privilege to do. But when you become a terrorist, that means the UN, the whole world body, all the decent countries in this world, they'll be looking at you with one corner of their eye as a terrorist country.
Total ostracization.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Now let's bring in Honorable Ejiofor Egwuatu into this conversation. Honorable Egwuatu, I'm sure you have followed this conversation. What's your reaction to what NCTC boss is saying that, look, social media handles of bandits and terrorists, we'll start taking them down very soon because, it's no longer business as usual. What's your reaction?
Scratching the surface. The NCC is just scratching the surface. They've not really gotten ready to do this business well. Announcing that you shut down social media platforms is nothing to rejoice about. It's not a big news. It's just one of those comments that people make. That's the way we see it. It's just it's nothing compared to what we expect to hear from the government concerning this terrorism. What I was expecting to hear was the circumstances that led to the recovery of those students that were kidnapped, 100 and something students, how they were rescued, arrests that were made, camps that were destroyed, things that will show that the government is really taking it down on the terrorists around that area. So I do not subscribe to that kind of playing to the gallery. We have heard that kind of thing many times. We expect to hear what happened to all the brigadier general that died. We expect to hear how the security agencies were able to get to the root of the cause of his death. So many military installations are being attacked by these terrorists. They need to tell us things that will give us hope. Shutting down the social media handles is they create another one tomorrow. Doesn't make any meaning to us. We expect to hear something more concrete, something more productive from them. Nigeria is in a very bad state, declaring Nigeria a pariah nation through the country of special interest. It's not anything good for us. So we expect the government to do more than what they are doing now. They
Right.
do more than what they're doing now.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Ejiofor Iguatu. Now, let's take this conversation to Barrister Andrew Enofe. His image popped up on the screen earlier. Good morning to you, Barrister Andrew Enofe.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you join the conversation. Now,
yes,
do you share the concerns of some Nigerians that have said, oh, look, this government is not serious? And some Nigerians are also saying that, look, this move, this relationship between Nigeria and social media giants, Meta, Elon Musk's X.com and TikTok, will only curb dissenting voices as against go after terrorists or those perpetrating insecurity. Do you share that same concern?
Well, to a very large extent, I want to say so, but in as much as that is the position, I actually still want to say that the government has not done much as expected, because if you listen to the former president of Nigeria, President Obasanjo, he said when he was in power, Nigeria has to disarm and exterminate all these terrorists, bandits, just name them, Boko Haram and the rest. So by and large, I also want to say that the system is being manipulated. It's being manipulated. They are playing politics with the system. And that is why I would say that the system, the government has not tried, has not tried completely, has not acted the way it should act. Just like what the last speaker said, my co-discussant said, if you take down these social media handles and the rest, that does not even solve the matter. The only thing I think that we only achieve is that you are only just trying to depopularize the people, the terrorists, on the social media platform, but they will devise another method to make themselves very popular or to achieve their aim. So, to me, what I would want the government to do is that the government should take a cue from the word of former President Obasanjo, who said that the country has all what it takes to deal decisively and ruthlessly with all these terrorists and bandits. So if they take a clue from that, they should go back to the system.
Okay.
Go back to their drawing board and ponder over this word, particularly when the U.S. president has said they are ready to offer us all necessary support. There should be a synergy between them and between us and the U.S. so that we can actually deal decisively and ruthlessly against these persons.
Talking about dealing decisively and ruthlessly against these persons, there is a conversation going on in the Senate to, give death penalty to kidnappers. There's that conversation going on. What are your thoughts on that? You think that would be a deterrent? But the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, has said, look, this will not solve the problem. It will only worsen insecurity. It will only worsen kidnapping and the rest. What are your thoughts?
Nigeria may be entitled to his own opinion. To me, I have my own opinion. And if you ask me...
I'm asking you.
Yes, if you put death penalty as it is, be as the punishment for such, I think it will stem the tide a little bit, because once you are aware that if you are caught in this act, what will become of you is death. The only thing that can save you is maybe the president coming to say, okay, I'm granting you amnesty or prerogative of mercy, okay, to release you, just like what was done recently by the president, which some of us queried. It will enable some people to sit at, particularly these people that are terrorizing this country. You are aware, everybody is aware that they are being aided by some politicians, and their names have been long mentioned. Nothing has been done. So, but at this point, once death penalty is there, and for example, a senator is involved or a governor is involved, and at the end, you are able to the system is able to link you up completely, and you are not convicted, you are not sentenced. That alone, yes, we enable everybody to sit up and say, no, please, I wouldn't want to die. Let's look at it from another angle.
All right.
So that is my opinion. I'm in full support of it.
All right.
Yes,
okay. Barrister, what's your reaction to this? Especially, I'm talking about the statement of the AGF.
Yes, every drastic solution or drastic action requires drastic solution. In Senate clan, they have devised a means of taking care of such problems. America don't take prisoners when it comes to terrorism. Everybody is aware of this. Everybody is, and that is why that country is safe.
Is America safe? Well, that's a question for another day.
I mean, from
some will disagree with you, but let's focus. Let's focus on the statements of or the position of the AGF and the Minister of Justice on the fact that
I am coming.
This will death will increase insecurity.
Now, let me tell you, in America, you have psychopaths who go rogue once in a while by shooting people. But it happens just one-off.
Barrister, let's focus on our peculiar
don't have terrorists of this nature
issue.
Occupying parts of America. That's what I'm telling you.
In our peculiar issue now, how can we solve this problem?
Yes. It's wrong. Is there another way of pampering these people? Is there another way of covering these people? What is said is not synonymous with what we are experiencing today. This particular action, you don't need anybody to tell you to give them soft landing. Why should you kidnap anybody? Do you know what it means? Some people don't come out alive from such a deal, and you are saying it will worsen the problem. These are things that this statement will make. Just like what Gumi was saying, it's better to kidnap children than to kill. But guys, when people make this type of statement, you don't wonder what adult are we dealing with here? Exterminate them. That's what I want to hear. That's the only way you can curb this nonsense.
Alright, so when you say exterminate them, we've seen that, for example, the likes of Shekaru die more than 8 times in Nigeria when he was a kingpin of Boko Haram terrorists. And we're also told that to anyone that was killed, over 7 or 8 or thereabouts will also come up. In the words of the Director General of National Counterterrorism Center, Major General Adamu Laka, he said something about the porous borders that we have with the Sahel being the major challenge we're having at this point. We also have another information talking about how over 1,000, Nigerian borders are unmanned. Should we be having all this excuse at this point, where we should be looking at the way to fight insecurity, haven't already, point them or notice or talk about them to be the challenges? Why haven't we solved them as a problem?
All the northern states have borders with all the states in North Africa. There are states bordering Nigeria in all the North African states, true or false. Have you had any time Nigeria said, terrorists, you are coming from Niger, terrorists, you are coming from Sudan, terrorists, you are, to show that yes, these people are coming through the northern borders and all that. The people that came in here were invited by some people. So how would you not say they came through the border? They were invited. I don't understand. Every of the northern states, they have border with countries in the north. So, why haven't you gone and look? If any terrorist enter Nigeria from your country, we'll deal with you. Donald Trump, that's why he's building a wall between America and Mexico. So let nobody
succeed in building that.
Why not?
Barrister,
they are policing that place now.
Talking about this issue of the NCTC helmsman saying, look, we are going to start taking down their social media accounts. Barrister, are you aware that the federal government has also declared, bandits and kidnappers terrorists?
No. I am not aware.
Okay. After the Federal Executive Council meeting, the Minister for Information, Idris Mohammed, said, look, the federal government has decided. That does not impress you?
It doesn't. See, you don't make verbal statements when it comes to such matters. The same way they criminalize IPOB, let them follow the same route to Koro.
Which is?
They went through the law. They went through the National Assembly. And they gazetted it. Have they done that? So what are you telling me? You don't know. So tomorrow now you said that, by the way, how long did it take them to do that? How long?
No, but at least they have done it.
Are you serious? They didn't do anything. They got verbal statement. That thing cannot stand in court. Quote me. All right, it cannot stand in court because nothing was gazetted by the federal government.
All right. Mr. Samir Ranta, what do you make of this? You know, we're fighting against insecurity and terrorism, but we also have another information saying that some of the insurgent group members, their names were seen listed to join our military forces. Before now, you know, when we're talking about de-radicalization, rehabilitation, and reintegration of terrorist group members into the military denied that vehemently. But at this point, we're also getting information now in defense saying the states were the ones that gave them the names of the people to enlist and all that, and that happened to be their own fault, not the fault of the military. Can we ever end the issue of insecurity when we have some of them playing with within our security, you know, forces?
We cannot end this security. The way we are going, we cannot. They can only, you know, create more atmosphere, enabling environment for terrorism to thrive in Nigeria. The way we are going. Because when you begin to cover, if you have a child that is stealing, and you cover this child because he's going outside to steal and bring for you, time will come. That child, after stealing outside, will come and steal even you, the parent. So, the way we are going about it, there is no clear-cut desire to stop this thing. And that is where I'm concerned. That people will come and be talking to Nigerians as if we are fools. Nigerians are not fools. We see the porousness, the illogicality in the whole war against terrorism in Nigeria. How come Matawale is still the Minister of State for Defense? A man accused by several, even his own aide, the governor that took over from him, in so many ways, even from his own speeches. You see that this man is an enabler, is a sponsor of this thing. And you left him there. So we are not serious about it.
All right. Thank you so much. Honorable Geoffrey Guatu, what do you make of the statement by some northern elites? There's a particular Professor Usman who, you know, decided to talk directly to the new Minister of Defense, Christopher Musa, telling him not to go all out, you know, in fighting, especially the Fulani bandits, whom we believe, who, according to him, you know, are trying to live their lives. Even when we've seen them, most of them wield weapons, kill people, sack communities in Benue and Plateau and all the places that they've laid their hands on. And we're getting also other people talking about non-kinetic measures being the only way to go to end insurgent group members from causing, you know, Nigeria great harm and all that. Do you think with such people, especially sympathizers to these people and those who share religious or maybe ethnic affiliation with them, and we know how most of them have occupied, you know, the political space in Nigeria, are we going to see the fight against insecurity, you know, make any headway, yield any fruit for Nigeria, with some statements coming up from people whom Nigeria or who the Nigerian government cannot recognize?
Let me quote the former president of Nigeria, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who said, "It is always very difficult to wake up a man pretending to sleep. When a man is pretending to be sleeping, it's difficult to wake such a person up." So some of these sympathizers are people who are pretending to be sleeping while they are very much awake. And I do not believe that the Minister of Defense will listen to such things. I can't remember his name. He isn't the one that gave him that job. And he's not representing him. He's representing Nigerians as a whole. And Nigerians have made it clear that they want terrorism to be stamped out. Nigerians have made it clear that they want an end to this insurgency. So I believe...
When you say Nigerians have made it clear, are you also talking about those that say that attack on Boko Haram is attack on the north? Are we also looking at the people who are telling Nigerians to grant amnesty to, bandits members that have killed people in Nigeria? Because some people are still supporting their move and everything that they do. Are we looking at people who have decided to meet them? We told some time ago by a former governor of Kaduna State, there's a certain 1 billion naira was spent in paying ransom to, or finding a way to broker peace between the people or the government of Kaduna State and, bandits elements in the state. When you say Nigerians have said no to issue of terrorism, are we looking at all these people too? And all these other, state actors or even non-state actors at this point who are more like vocal in supporting their activities?
Well, if we are still discussing these things at this point, that means we have not done anything, or the government is not doing anything about insecurity. Because this is exactly what the situation were before the intervention of the United States of America, before the intervention of President Donald Trump. This was exactly the situation. So if Nigeria is still discussing whether there should be force or no force, or that means we are not moving. We are not even making. We are not even crawling, not to talk of running or walking. So the only message Nigerians want to hear is that all-out war to stamp out this terrorism is an issue of. It might happen in France, far away from the southeast, or far away from the south, or far away from some other places. But this is Nigeria, an entity, one entity. Listen, the government wants food stuff to be cheap. The government wants the economy to run well. How can an economy run in such very dangerous security situation? It is not possible.
All right.
How can people who go to farms are destroyed, are killed, farms are destroyed, people cannot move around freely, and you say the economy can run smoothly, and there will be growth, and you use GDP and all those things to tell us stories? No, it cannot work. So the government has to do everything necessary to wipe out terrorism. I said wipe out.
Thank you so much.
Not minimize.
Thank you, Honorable Ejiofor Igwatu. Barrister Andrew Enofe, we're looking at how to find a way to curb the issue of insurgency or terrorism in Nigeria, and if we could take it back to history, especially the forced massacre that happened in Benue State, it was between the farmers and also herders, and Nigerians were of the opinion that the first step to go after restoring normalcy in Benue State by sacking the people who sacked the original inhabitant of that areas that you're occupying now, is to put an end to the issue of open grazing. Sometime last month or thereabouts, it made it. Some Nigerians were happy that a certain, I think from the committee organized, there was a statement made by a certain man who attended saying that Nigerian government have said enough is enough on open grazing, that ranching is the way forward. But the following day, we saw in another story superseding that, more like a recount and all that. Now, why is it that the government is not looking at the direction or saying, let's put a ban on open grazing, which we have identified as the major reason for clashes between the farmers and herders? And also, we borrowed a certain amount of money too for out-of-school children, especially those in Kaduna State to go. But we also see Boko Haram who are kicking against Western education. How do you think the government will be able to harness all this?
I have told you, when this government don't want to do anything, they will resort to committee, they will resort to panel, they resort to emissaries. Before you know it, everybody will forget the initial problem that we are pursuing. From the time of Buhari to this time, how many proposals have been made to rein in the Fulani herdsmen? From Roga to cattle colony, to so many of them. Which one saw the light of day? Nothing. Now, Tinubu is telling us about the livestock minister. Up to today, Jega is just in that ministry collecting salary. Nothing has been done. It's final. You created a ministry that is just redundant because the people you created it for are not ready to embrace it. That was the first thing I said that day. That this thing that they are doing now is a waste of time because that's not what they want. How can we be deceiving ourselves in this manner, for God's sake? How? Because of one particular ethnic group that came into Nigeria in 1804. You are not even bothered that these people, they are caused of so much pain and so much damage. You are not bothered. Everything that has to do with them, you want to pamper it. You want to treat them as if they are special human beings. For what? Look at all the effort you have made. Because of these same people, all the subvention they used to give our university for research, they yank it off. Just for what? Nomadic education. At the end of the day, we didn't see any education. We didn't see our money back. Everything we have done for these people, they have never appreciated it. So what are you telling me?
Talking about pampering these people, are you aware that the governor of Adamawa State, Adamu Fintiri, has pardoned the Sunday Jackson, the young man that was sentenced? Because
America says so. Okay. They live that way. America says so. Okay. America, that was one of the conditions they gave them. They are trying to avoid America invading Nigeria. That's why they are listening to whatever they are giving them as a condition. That's just the only thing, nothing else. Did they want to do it before?
So all the efforts the Nigerian government is making around fighting insecurity boils down to, you know, what America is
Of course. But even at that, they are not. I told you here that American officials have been hypnotized. Donald Trump must have been hypnotized. And I think the man got angry. That's why he withdrew his ambassador in Nigeria. Is that not true? For Donald Trump to withdraw American ambassador to Nigeria, that means
there is 15 other African countries, 14 other African countries.
Because
Nigeria,
it's not
making it 15.
So what are you telling me here now? What are you telling me here?
What I'm telling you is that I mean, if okay, so those other countries hypnotized Trump too.
No. In the case of America wanted to invade.
Okay.
Just to water it down, they must have done something to them. Because I don't trust this government. I don't trust them. They can apply anything to have their way. Okay, all this while they are holding meeting here and they walk out of it. Can't you see that this thing is dying down now?
So, Barrister, the pardon of Sunday Jackson, does it bring some kind of hope?
It didn't. It doesn't. At all. I didn't see any of this. They just did it to please America. Let them remove the people occupying Benue and Plateau states. I will not listen to them. I've said it separately. Start from there. Why should an indigenous be living in IDP camp? Why foreign terrorists will take over their village, take over their homes?
All right.
And rename it.
Thank you so much, Barrister Darlington, for your submission. Barrister Andrew Enofe, let's get your opinion on that too. You know, Nigerians talking about the best way to go about this, putting an end to open grazing, going for ranching, and also, you know, finding a way to, you know, make the out-of-school children go back to school, not just making it a political statement.
First and foremost, on a lighter note, the name is Barrister Andrew Efole.
Okay, Efole.
Yes, not Enufe.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that correction. Thank you.
Going forward, what I want to suggest is that there should be sincerity of purpose by this government. You know, once the government is sincere with whatever thing it actually wants to do, but it's just that everybody is trying to play politics with this issue of insecurity because of what I would call security vote or money allocated for insecurity and the rest. So almost everybody is benefiting, except just a few. Those in government, they are benefiting. Because if they are not actually benefiting, how can you tell me that? Let's take example to this Niger State people, that students that were kidnapped. The numbers of people that were kidnapped, I want to believe that everybody returned safe and sound. If it was not an organized crime, if it was not an organized arrangement that, okay, please do this, but make sure that nobody's hurt, make sure that nobody dies, make sure that you can even keep them as long as you want to keep them. But you will see that one or two persons would have been hurt, one or two persons would have died. But there is an arrangement that, please, it's a deal. Do not do this. You can do this. If you can keep to the terms, where you get what you get what you are looking for. But if you cannot keep to the terms, this is where we'll have issues. So my own take to stem this issue, my own take is that the government should be sincere. Then two, the willpower should be increased. You know, so that when they say something or once we agree on something, that, okay, this is the way to go, to make sure that and make sure that we are in order. But the situation where, you know, you will say this and something else is happening. It doesn't tell well. Okay. And that is why I also want to support what my colleague has said there, that how can you allow the owners of the land to be in IDP camps and people who are not from the land are occupying their territory? No, well, it's something that is, yes, it's something that is
indeed. Well, this conversation, we've been having this conversation for the longest time, and we just hope that government will do something that will give hope to Nigerians that yes, truly, it intends and is willing to fight insecurity in Nigeria. But let's move away from this conversation now. Let's get into another. Okay. We must say thank you to Barrister Darlington Agumo as he, leaves us. As we get into another conversation. INEC rejects Turaki-led NWC, cites court judgments. As Sheyi Makinde reveals, Wike offered to hold PDP down for Tinubu till 2027. Well, some Nigerians will say they know this already. But anyway, let's talk about this when we come back. Join us again.
Ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television. Don't just react, understand.
Glad to have you back. It's still VOP this morning. The Independent National Electoral Commission has said it will not recognize the Kabiru Turaki-led National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party, citing subsisting court judgments and unresolved legal processes. INEC stated this in a letter dated December 22, 2025, and signed by its secretary, Dr. Rose Oriaron Anthony, which was made available to correspondents. The mission said it had received several requests from legal representatives of the PDP asking it to recognize and update on its website the list of national officers said to have been elected at the party's national convention held on November 15 and 16, 2025 in Ibadan, Oyo State. According to the commission, the requests were reviewed in light of all material facts, extant laws, and subsisting court judgments touching directly on the subject matter. Meanwhile, the Oyo State Governor Sheyi Makinde has publicly disclosed the root of his deepening rift with Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike, alleging that Wike volunteered to hold down the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to ensure Bola Ahmed Tinubu's re-election in 2027. Speaking during a media chat in Ibadan on Tuesday, Makinde recounted a private meeting attended by himself, Tinubu, Wike, the President of the Chief of Staff, and a few others. He further claimed that Wike made the pledge unprompted. He emphasized that President Tinubu did not solicit the offer. but more like a free will donation from Nyesom Wike. Makinde, who stressed his PDP, who also stressed his commitment to preserving the party as a viable opposition, distanced himself from alleged plan. In his words, Wike can support the president in 2027, but I will not. That is the end of the quote. He further added that some PDP members are focused on preventing Nigeria from sliding into one-party states. Interesting revelation, if you ask me. We have with us still in the studio Somi Uranta, an entrepreneur, author and a public affairs analyst, and the barrister Andrew, a full-lay legal practitioner and also public affairs analyst, and Honorable Ejiofor Egwuatu, former member of Anambra State House of Assembly. He is also a public and political affairs commentator. Let me start off with you, Honorable Ejiofor Egwuatu, because we're seeing more like politicians or political bigwigs at this point having their issues within the PDP. What do you make of this statement? First, what do you make of what INEC said about not recognizing the Turaki-led, BOT of PDP after they were, more like fronting them or signing them? Recall that INEC had a meeting with them a few weeks ago, or even last week, which some Nigerians were asking, why should INEC also wade into the back and forth with PDP? And what do you make of now they're distancing themselves from that committee and the recent revelation made by Seyi Makinde of how someone who belongs to a particular political party, in the person of the FCT minister, decide to say, I am going to hold the party down for the president or the incumbent in 2027. This is not the first time we're getting that revelation. A certain Umar also made that statement, saying that Wike told the PDP that the only way for peace to be restored in that party is if they will not field in any candidate for the 2027 general election.
Well, for me, PDP is undergoing a metamorphosis that at the end of the day, it might get broken into pieces. But since the matters are in court, I do not think INEC is taking a final decision in that statement they made. The matters are still in court. I am aware there are some appeal court issues they having. I think the party appealed one of the judgments that were made against them. So INEC will still wait for those judgments to come before they make conclusions. There is still time. 2027 is still far away, so enough time to sort themselves out. On the Wike matter, it's obvious. It is obvious that the only aim of the FCT minister is to destabilize PDP. But I do not think he understands the implication of trying to bring Nigeria into that one-party state. It is not going to be the best for our democracy. So I commend the other governors who are working hard to make sure that there are opposition parties which are existing, and not just existing, which are viable, and trying to keep the president or the ruling party on their toes. That is the beauty of democracy. The ruling party should be kept on their toes. The opposition parties should be viable. They should be vibrant. They should be challenging issues so that there will be a balance in our democracy. So I do not believe that FCT minister will win this. I do not think the odds are very much against him. He's not going to win this. From all indications, I think he's losing his grip on Rivers State. Dramatically, his grip on Rivers State is being lost gradually. And in that trend, he will lose his grip on PDP too.
Thank you so much, Honorable.
PDP made a lot of mistakes. They made a lot of mistakes, and I'm happy Governor Makinde is trying to champion the recovery, because he was one of those people who made the mistake, and he's one of the people who are working hard to recover from that mistake.
Interesting.
So
Thank you. Thank you for your submission. Thank you so much for that. Mr. Somi Uranta, you were giggling, when Honorable Ejiofor Egwuatu was dropping his submission. What do you have to say about this? Is PDP dead already? Because some people were like, before the court ruling will come up and everything, the back and forth, we know how it's been done in Nigeria, that it might be close time to the election. And recall that we have the FCT council election coming up in February, and also the Osun and the Ekiti, June, July, respectively, 2026 governorship election. What do you think at this point PDP would do? How would they regain their strength? Or how would they be restored? The party be restored to normalcy?
You see, you mentioned that I was giggling. I had to, because my colleague, from the other side, was having a very simplistic explanation for the whole thing. And that view, I do not subscribe to it at all. Well, I've stated severally that PDP, between now and 2027, is in a sleep state, sleeping. They are really sleeping, slumbering. The question is, even Sheyi Makinde, is he really working for PDP?
Yeah, that's the question I was going to ask you.
Yes. Is he really working for DP? I don't know.
What do you think his position is really?
Because I could not fathom the essence, the logic behind that press conference. What is he saying?
Well, he seems to be saying that he will contest for elections and he will not support Tinubu that he supported in 2023. That's what he seems to be saying.
Okay, that's what he seems to be saying.
Yeah, but
I'm not really hearing that. I'm seeing the situation
he obviously intends to run under the PDP.
Sometimes when you see people make statements, it's what that is not said, the one that is not said that is actually because even the person who is the chairman of PDP is supposed to be under suspension from his own state for anti-party activities working for APC. So if you check the whole thing.
So what do you think is not being said?
I think that virtually all of them are working for the same person. Yes, virtually all of them.
Wike, who is holding the party down, and the Makinde, who is trying to revive the party.
Yes, all of them are working for the octopus, for the political octopus.
Is INEC helping them, to achieve this?
INEC is also working in the same vein.
That's a heavy allegation against INEC,
Because, see, that's why I was giggling. When my colleague here was
INEC said, look, we can't really talk about this because the case is in court.
But they are recognizing, they are refused to recognize
the Turaki faction.
So that means they are upholding that of
because it's in court.
Look, they are upholding that of Wike.
Shouldn't we focus on the courts?
You see, let us forget about PDP. Let us forget about them for now. If they have what it takes, after 2027, they might be able to resurrect again. But for now, they should. That is why, you see, all these governors that are living into APC, they are living because they have seen the handwriting on the wall. That was why I was giggling when my colleague was saying, giving us a simplistic analysis about the whole thing.
No, you call it simplistic, Mr. Aranta. I want us to interrogate the role of INEC in all of this, because the same INEC that has come out to say, look, the case is in court and they rejected the Turaki-led National Working Committee. It's the same INEC that recognized a candidate in the Ekiti election that is coming up in 2026. A primary that was conducted by the same Turaki-led NWC. So what is the role of INEC in all
It goes
of
to
this?
show you that everybody is working for one person, the octopus. But the thing is that my fear is for Nigeria. Are we going to come out with our full chest and say to the world that we are practicing democracy, a multi-party democracy? The answer is no, because we are inching very closely to a single party. Is it democracy now? I don't know what to call it.
So, democracy has very many definitions: elections, selection, and all of that.
Okay. So the thing is, Nigerians have to brace up for what is coming. I just have to brace up. You see, if you have 10 ways to die, you may be asked to choose one. But what if the whole 10 are upon you? So Nigerians will have to brace up.
All right then. Okay, brace up for what is coming, but you haven't told us what is coming. You've not told us what to expect.
I don't even know, but I know that it's very ominous.
Okay. All right then. So let's go to Barrister Andrew now. Barrister, are you concerned with how would you describe the Makinde position in the PDP? Is he trying to revive the PDP? And what is the value of the information that he's putting out there that Wike said before him to Tinubu that, look, I will hold the PDP down for you in 2023, and he's saying, look, I will not support Tinubu in 2027. What's the value of that statement? What can we do with it?
To me, politics is a game of number. Let us not deceive ourselves. You may have one vote, but you may not have the capacity to command a group of persons that will deliver what you want in a particular event, as the case may be. For Makinde himself, he is only saying what he believes he wants to do. He has declared that he will not work for the president. And the rift between him and Wike, he has openly declared that. Because one, let's look at Wike's antecedent. In fact, you do not need
All right, we seem to have a network glitch there that interrupted the conversation with Barrister Andrew Efole. But of course, let's bring you back to the studio. Now, as we approach 2027, now you've said let's forget about the PDP. The ADC is having
relevant in 2027. He also wants to make himself relevant. That's the truth. So he doesn't want to leave the scene. And even the governors are already aware that, yes, Mr.
Some glitch.
Well, it's the Christmas season, and I think there's a lot of load on the network. I guess that's probably what's affecting the virtual guest there who's talking to us using a particular network. You know, it's about that time of the year. Yeah. Anyway, let's as we approach 2027, do you think we may not have contending political parties? I mean, if you talk about the democracy that we practice in Nigeria, we still have political parties. There are 19 of them. All right. Some applied and applications were not granted. ADA was not granted. But then there are others. There are a whole lot of other political parties. So what do you think will happen as we inch towards the presidential, because that's the focus now, the presidential elections? We still have ADC, you know, pulling their weight in some areas. We have SDP also, you know, pulling its own weight. And we have AN, you know, what's this?
That's also LP.
What is? There is LP. There is LP.
That's doing well in Abia.
Omoyele Showere's party.
AAC.
Okay.
Yes, you know, these are also political parties that might want to contest for the presidential election. So I think we have our democracy intact, don't you think so?
I think so. You're right.
You do.
You're right. Yes. But you
don't sound convincing.
You see, there is this boju kind of system in Nigeria. You know, the more you look, the less you see. You know, it's playing out in our eyes here, before our very own eyes. You know, our kuro eyes. But see, the truth is, the way Nigeria is going, the only difference that Nigerians are waiting. Let me just come out, you know, with my full chest and say this. Nigerians are waiting to hear where Peter Obi would like to pitch his tent. The rest are compromised on the political sphere. There's nothing we can do about it. If Peter Obi decide to drop out of this race now, then Nigerians will begin to look out. I mean, let's just continue the way we are. So people are waiting for Peter Obi to decide what he wants to do, which party, which...
What do you think is holding him back?
Because the man they are trying to fight against is a very strong person. The man I describe as the political octopus of Nigerian politics.
So it's a fight against Tinubu as a person.
Yes,
not a fight
yes, because
for the survival of Nigeria.
This is a man who has spent time. You know, only a few days ago, I was on Sunday, to be precise. We went to the beach around the area, and I decided to drive through the coastal highway.
Okay.
You know, from the Brahadesoya area down to the beginning of to Atlantic, Eco Atlantic, and then we went to Eco Atlantic. to see, I used to go there, you know, but this time around, I decided to.
Went to investigate.
You know, when you look at a man who had the mindset to send the Atlantic tidal wave 1.5 miles back into the sea, such a mind is not a feeble mind.
So you think he cannot be defeated?
The thing is, all I'm saying is, I don't know who is advising the president. He should be able to get the advice to leave a legacy that will keep his name, because he has shown capacity before now. But I don't like what is happening now. The way Nigeria is going, it's only P2B that even this government is afraid of. That is why if you see him make any statement, they will rise up immediately and try to counter it. Whether Atiku or any other person in the system, they don't care. They know that they can pocket all those, they can overwhelm them. It's only P2B, the rock. So Nigerians are waiting for the rock to see where the rock will.
Mr. Oranta, what are P2B's chances in 2027?
That I don't know. But the ruling party knows the weight of P2B.
Okay. We don't have individual candidacy, so how is
no, but of course, there are, Moses has just stated that there are several parties. Who knows what is happening? Even the Abia State government.
But you can't speak to his chances. Is the possibility of him pulling the same effect or the same weight?
He will pull more. He will pull more. So? Because circumstances that made it, that necessitated the Obi wave, the Obi fever, in 2023 has gotten worse.
How about the outcomes? We should be talking about the outcomes.
Well, that is left for Nigeria.
Mind you that as at that time, the person in office now, who you have described as a very powerful and smart person, wasn't even in government then. Now he's in government and he has the apparatus of state under his control.
Under his control. You see, it's more difficult now. But the thing is, though I have been very, very angry with the opposition, there is no opposition. Someone was talking here about PDP, that there's no opposition. No opposition. The oppositions have been weakened. But the thing is, whatever P2B decides, any party he pitches his tent, maybe that will Nigerians, maybe to galvanize the Nigerian spirit to fight.
You're obviously an obedient. You are, right?
Please don't compartmentalize me.
Are you an obedient?
Okay, I'm an obedient. I'm obedient to the Nigerian state.
All right, then. Let's move away from that conversation. I do hope that we'll be able to continue with our virtual guests as our technical crew fix the network issues. And then we'll get back to our virtual guests. But let's talk about something that happened some 5 years ago. NSAS. Yes, the conversation around NSAS. The alleged, and I use that word very carefully, death of people at the Lekki toll gate, the massacre, the massacre. And some have called it a phantom massacre. These are words from then Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed. Now, he's out again in his book and also making statements. He has vehemently insisted that nobody was killed at the NSAS, at the Lekki toll gate during the October 2020 standoff at the toll gate. Well, former Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has restated his long-held position that while lives were lost during the NSAS protest, no deaths occurred at the Lekki toll gate on October 2020. But Lai Mohammed made the remarks on Tuesday while speaking as a guest on a television program. According to the former minister, his stance has remained consistent since the protest, insisting that the federal government never denied that lives were lost during the nationwide protest. But he explained that he was in constant communication with senior military officials as events unfolded, even before soldiers were deployed to Lagos. He further argued that the absence of verifiable casualty claims from families supports his position. Well, he's saying families did not come out in their numbers to register missing persons, saying that they haven't found their loved ones. Well, he distanced himself from the conclusion reached by the Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry, which investigated the Lekki Tollgate incident and described it as a massacre. Now, he has also made statements around the lights being turned off at the time, saying it was because of the curfew, and said the cameras that were turned off were not surveillance cameras. They were cameras that captured vehicles and the rest. You know, isn't this opening old wounds? And this position is coming after Amnesty International and, you know, some other organizations confirmed that people died at the toll gate. I mean, approximately 11 people were said to have died at the toll gate, with a lot of other people injured from gunshot wounds. And there are also the allegation that, you know, very, very early in the morning of the very next day, trucks went there to clean up blood stains at the toll gate. Well, his statement now, and his interviews from his book.
You see, Mr. Lai.
Mr. Mohammed.
Okay, Mr. Lai Mohammed. You see, you just said he distanced himself from a panel of judicial inquiry, you know, conducted by Lagos State government. You talked about Amnesty International. These are credible organizations. And you cannot take their word. Mr. Lai had an infamous reign as a Minister of Information. If I may say, as a Minister of Disinformation. So we cannot take his word. His word does not hold water compared to the people you've mentioned. Lagos State government is still APC. You know, created an inquiry into it. And that inquiry came up with a decision, a conclusion, which tallies with that of Amnesty International. And you're asking me to take what
So
Mr. Lai had.
what is the essence of his position now, him coming out now? Is this a move to douse tension and reopen the
He
toll
needs
gate? Because we
money.
know
He
that the
needs
toll
money.
gate-
He needs money.
But we know that the toll gate has been closed since then.
That's what I'm saying. I said
Tolls are not
he needs
being- are not
money.
being taken there.
Maybe when they come to launch book, they will donate some money, political friends and all that. You know, he's been very silent all this while.
Yeah, that's
You know, these guys, when they go there, they live as if there is no tomorrow. So maybe he's broke. He needs money.
Well,
or maybe
let's not insult this.
No, I'm not. It's not an insult. Or maybe he feels that if he helps, you know, to create an atmosphere of doubt, so that, like you mentioned, the toll gate reopening.
I'm asking a question.
No, I'm also saying it's possible. These are possibilities I'm just, you know, looking at. But we cannot take his word cannot be compared to the people we are comparing his words to, because he had not showed the government that he was information minister to. That government has been seen as one of the worst in the history of Nigeria. So the man who stood then, who was telling us fake news, he gave Nigerians more fake news than the fake news purveyors. So what he's saying does not hold water. For me, I do not find it okay for me to come and be discussing the validity of what Mr. Lai's position. No, I do not have that time for him.
No, okay, now, so Miranda, you know how history plays, you know, around. Do you think that he's just trying to recreate the narrative, you know, for posterity to take away that responsibility from the All Progressives Congress? You know, they were in government then.
They are still in government. All Progressive
they are still
Congress,
in government. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Government, yeah. So what I'm saying is that whatever is his reason behind the actions he has taken to write this book and all that, you know, in Nigeria, I told you, when I said maybe he needs money, when you write books, the politically exposed, they come and they launch it, politicians will come and they donate money for you and all that. You know, you start a new life. Maybe that is what I'm thinking. But if he's trying to rewrite history, some of us will also keep maintaining the history, you know, because he is trying to, of course, you know, Philippe Magwali, you know, said his father was asking him, say, between the story of the warrior and the warrior himself, which is greater? I said, Daddy, why are you talking like this? He said, look, the African hero, that nothing like it. The father said, shut up, my son. You see, the warrior, long after he's done all he has done and all his heroic deeds and gone, that the history or the story of the warrior lives, after him. So, if this man is trying to rewrite history, we are here, we are alive. We will keep saying, repeating the history as it is, the story, the real story, and not the narration.
Don't you think that is his aim, to create that division, that narrative, so that future generations will keep doubting whether this thing actually happened. If you go back in history, you understand that some people still don't believe. Like Iran never believed that there was a Holocaust, where about 6 million Jews were killed. Do you think that is the role? You said something about his being a minister of disinformation, the propaganda, fake news purveying, and all of that. Do you think that is essentially what he's trying to achieve with this narrative?
Those who will believe him, will want to believe him. But if those tomorrow who want to research into what happened, what transpired on that day at the toll gate, when they get the reports from Amnesty International, from the Judicial Panel of Inquiry by Lagos State Government, when they read their findings, that's why those researchers should not just take one route, go around, check things around the environment, what happened around that period.
Okay, now, Mr. Ranta, do you think that Mr. Lai Mohammed is directly, trying to remove the name of the president from what happened on that day? Because, there's also this narrative that the president at that time, who was the national leader of the party, was somehow directly linked to the order to shoot. Do you think that's what he's trying to do, to clean up his image for him?
Mr. Lai Mohammed is looking for a job. If it's not money, he's looking for a job. He wants to get relevance. He's been silent. The Clegg light has left him.
No, he can't be looking for a job. He's very close to the president. He was his chief of staff in his first time as governor here. Very close to him. So
see, every right-thinking government would distance themselves from the inglorious name Mr. Lai Mohammed has created for himself under the Buhari government.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel Ranta. Let's take the conversation to Barrister Andrew Efole. Glad to have you back. What do you have to say about the statement made by the former Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, about the killings or the shooting or the massacre that happened at Lekki Tollgate? He still maintained his stance that there was no killing in Lekki Tollgate. And when he was asked about if the federal government regrets in any way the deployment of military personnel to Lekki, he said no, that they did what it's supposed to do, which was in line with whatever directive the then president gave. And that, according to him, was what helped to put an end to Nigerians sitting, blocking the Lekki Tollgate and protesting the brutality of Nigerian policemen under the SARS platform.
Well, first and foremost, let me start with the last one. The duties of the soldiers or military is for external aggression. It's not to come and interfere in protest being done by people who were not armed with anything. It's the duty of the police to do that. So he's saying that the soldiers were properly brought in, first and foremost, was wrong of him. The soldiers should go and guide our borders. They should go and stay where they're supposed to stay to guide the territorial vision of our country against external aggression. That is their major duty. So it's not to come and sit here and say they want to come and give backup to harmless, to people who were not armed doing peaceful protest at the toll gate. So that is wrong. That statement is very, very incorrect. That is the first point. Then for him to have said that there was no killing at the toll gate, that is not also correct. Despite the fact that he admitted that, yes, there were killings, people died, but not at the toll gate. That is not correct. We saw the video of what transpired at the toll gate. We saw everything, coupled with the report given by the Judicial Panel of Inquiry and everything that was put in place. So for me, this former minister is just trying to look for relevance. That is the truth. Because they have seen that Tinubu is somebody that once you work for him, he rewards those who work for him. That is just his nature. So everybody is trying to tap on that to say that, okay, if I say this good thing about Tinubu, Tinubu may one day remember me or think about me that, yes, I've done something good, because he's a rewarder of those who have actually spoken good about him. That is Tinubu for you. He does not use you and dump you. I don't know him to be that. So what, according to the name they used to call him there, is just to play to the gallery, to wish him popularity, which will not earn him anything. So that is just the basic truth.
Now, when do you think
there were deaths?
When do you think Nigeria will, or Nigerian government will rise above the use of lethal force to disperse protesters? Because even the recent one, the August 1 to 10, 2024, protest, hashtag end bad governance and hunger in Nigeria, also learned that a certain individual was killed in Kaduna State, and if you check it out also, we found out that some persons also lost their life when protesting against bad governance and hunger in Nigeria. When do you think Nigeria will move away from the use of lethal force or even military or police and live ammunition by trying to, rein in or curb the people?
Well, they know themselves. The politicians know themselves. They may not want to move away from using police because they know that some people will definitely want to buy into peaceful protest. There will be political jobbers. People will just want to come and say, okay, please, let's take this opportunity to strike or to do what we have been waiting to do before now. So for that, they will always want to bring in the military to come and do backup or to come and protect or to come and disrupt the peaceful protest of the people. But that's not to say that that is the best way to go, because every Nigerian, all people have the right to protest peacefully, to ventilate their dissatisfaction before the government so that the government can look into it. But just because people do not want anybody to speak ill of any of the government at any point in time, they will always want to tell you that they are bringing in the military to come and do that backup or to come and protect the people so that hoodlums or people will not come and hijack the protest. But between you and me, that is not the real reason behind it. All is to quell the people. All is to silence the people. All is to gag those who want to speak. And that is why they will continue to do that.
All right. Thank you so much.
That's the truth. You have not told me that they have not told us any protester at any point in time that went to protest and they saw the person with arms and ammunition, carrying guns, carrying knife, carrying cutlass, carrying spear, carrying bow and arrow. They should tell us which protest has taken place in Nigeria where they saw protesters coming out with all this kind of instruments. None.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Barrister Andrew Efole, for your submission. Interesting also, we learned that the Lagos State Judicial Panel, after their inquiry, also mandated the government to pay a certain amount of money to victims of the hashtag #EndSARS protest that happened 5 years ago. And this is how far we can go on today's VOP this morning. Thank you, Mr. Somi Uranta. Thank you for being part of today's conversation. Thank you. We appreciate your submission. Also, you're an entrepreneur, author, and a public affairs analyst. Also, Barrister Andrew Efole, public and political affairs commentator. Honorable Geoffrey Iguato, former member, Anambra State House of Assembly, politician, and public affairs analyst. Thank you so much for being part of today's conversation. And also a big thank you to the backroom staff, the producer of the show, Choma Innocent. We have the director, Victor Igris. We also have Alex Asoko and then Jeremiah Loki. Thank you, Choma Okoya. Thank you so much for the good job you're doing behind the camera. On behalf of my colleagues in the studio, Chikuma Okoro, Moses Humphrey, I am Fina Okechukwu. Like I always say, believe me, be a patriotic citizen. Nigeria will be great again. On top of the hour, 10 a.m., the gentleman in the house will make a return for the newspaper analysis proper. That'll be 10 o'clock here on the White Table. Do what to stay with us. Bye for now.
extraordinary. Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Ẹ̀yin tèmi ní Nàìjíríà lókè òkun, mò ń kí yín fún Kérésìmesì ọdún yìí á yabo fún wa o. Gbogbo àlàrí bá ti ṣe tààrọ̀ náà gbégbá o. I wish my fans all over the world, in Europe, America, Australia, everywhere, a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Catch ya next year.
As the year comes to an end, we want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for your hard work, dedication, and the positive vibe you bring to Voice of the People every day. From all of us on the HR, we would like to say Merry Christmas, a happy, prosperous, and healthy New Year. Thank you.
This is to wish you a wonderful, spirit-filled and Merry Christmas from Matthew Ogunswada.
This year has been so amazing with you in it. And that's why we're saying from Voice of the People TV, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And we love you.
You've been wonderful all